Y'all better understand. Like those 50 children, I was laughing at Elijah, calling him bald head. Oh yeah, bald head, bald head. Moses had 2 sheep bears come out of the woods and kill them. Y'all better understand. Y'all, a lot of people don't really understand the Most High. All of life is right here. He says, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women. But come not near any man upon whom is the mark. That sign is crying for all these abominations that's being done on this earth. Sin after sin after sin after sin after sin. And begin at my sanctuary. He said, begin at my house of Israel, family of Israel. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Start killing the older ones, all the way down to little children, as it is written. So going back to what my second Rashad said, because there's got to be a certain child, a certain mindset of a child that have, following the law, such commandments of the Most High. Because it says, Matthew 18:3, and said, they want to know who's going to be the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So he brought a child, a little boy in front of him, and said, verily, truly I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Gotta be converted. That means changed. Be born again. Become a new man, a new woman, a new creature. Ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven. Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child. See? The little child is humble, innocent. This little child. Not the one we just read about. It said, kill, slay utterly little children. Not them. Not them wicked ones. But this one that's humble. More, whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. See, and whoso shall receive one such little child in my name, by Shema Shekhamshai, receiveth me. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Say, he said, been better for you to tie a great millstone, a great boulder around your neck and commit suicide in the sea than to mess with one of his little ones that believe on Bahashama Mashak Yahweh, that's rolling Bahashama Mashak Yahweh. He let you know what you gonna do when he come for you. You ready? Because he coming. The judge and make war. And judgment has been given him from the Most High. First John 5:3. 1 John 5:3. For this is the love of the Most High, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous. So he ain't supposed to be sad and doing what's right according to the Most High. He says commandments are not grievous. So now, that's why you keep the commandments of the Most High. Look at Baruch 4:1-3. Baruch the 4th chapter, verse 1-3. See, our whole objective is to reach everlasting life, that our name can be written in the book of life, that we can have everlasting life. Our hope is, that's my hope, that we all can see this. And all is a certain number, remember? At 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. So it says, Baruch the 4th chapter in the Apocrypha, verse 1, it says, this is the book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever. Unto this day, the law still endureth. It says, all they that keep it shall come to life. See? All they that keep the law gonna come to everlasting life. That's why Master Shai said, if you have ears to hear and eyes to see, in St. John 14:6, he said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the way to show you how to follow the truth, which is the commandments of the Most High, which he said, hey, he was an example of how you can come on this earth and not sin, or you can repent and follow the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High, as he did. He said, let this mind be in you that was in Mashiach Yahushua, who did not sin. That same mind can be in us, that we work toward perfection. The Most High said, hey, let the multitude perish then. In 2 Ezra 9:22, said, but and let my grape and my plant be kept, for with great labor have I, that's the Most High, made it perfect. So for somebody to say you can't be perfect, you saying that the Most High can't do what he say he gonna do, and doing, making us perfect. But it's only 1/3. That's why it says, this book of the commandments of the Most High, and the law that endureth forever, all they that keep it shall come to life. So Mashiach is the way. It shows how to follow the truth, which is the law. Psalms 119, 142, sing it with me. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. So he's going to deviate from what it is. All he had to go was the law and the prophets. So he said he's the way to show us how to follow the truth, try to follow the both sides laws is going to lead to everlasting life, just what we see in here. All they that keep it shall come to life. You see? Because he didn't lie, did he? He didn't lie. He told the truth. And the truth is showed you how to follow the Most High's laws. Turn thee, O Jacob, verse 2, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof. We already went to Proverbs 6 and 23, showed you the light is the law, that thou mayest be illuminated. Right? Now it's saying, give not thine honor to another. See, don't give our honor, what the Most High is given only to us, to another, nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation. See? We ain't supposed to be doing that. You got to reach out. He said, he told the apostle, what? Go to the 12 tribes of Israel. As you go, tell them the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So, looking at, go to, back to Revelations. Well, let's look at, Revelations, the 20th chapter. And verse 15 again. It says, and whosoever was not found written in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. You hear that? If your name not written in the book of life, you're going to be cast into the lake of fire. It's serious. Who going to be joining you there? Revelations 19 and 20. And the beast was taken. That's a system. This wicked system. The beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast. Hear that? Remember, the devil deceived all of them, so he's going to deceive those that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. His image is Caesar Borgia. The image is his character, his way of life. He's not around you, but you're in his image by accepting what it is that he says you have to accept without being around you. And see that mark. He's not going to force that on you. You're going to take it. People are going to take it voluntarily. It said, and them that worship his image, these both were cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. See? We cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone. And the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth. Mashiach Yahushua. And all the fowls were filled with their flesh. You see? Because he's going to kill, he's going to tell you how he's going to, what he's going to do to their militaries of this world in 2nd Ezra 13th chapter. 2nd Ezra 13. Let's go with it. 2nd Ezra 13. This is Mashiach Yahushua and the chariots coming to deliver the 12 tribes of Israel. It says, and it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea, that it moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. He waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. How many thousands? Since we're in Revelation, go to Revelation 9:16. Verses 9 and 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them, 200 million angels. That's the thousands of heaven. 200 million angels, okay, that he's coming with.
As joined.
And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. You see? And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. Remember what it said? Revelation 19 and 21. As he come to judge and make war. And the remnant were slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded where? Out of his mouth, right? So, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. So, that's a remnant that's going to be left after he take care of this business right here. Understand this, overstand this. Because this is talking about the militaries of the world that's prepared to fight a Mashiach Yahushua. But you see what it says. Verse 3, and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, the angels. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen unto him. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice. Hear that? Like as the earth felleth when it filleth the fire. So when you look at, get Isaiah 47 and 3, so you know in your mind, you won't think something wrong of your vision of him coming back, because he said in Isaiah 47 and 3, thy nakedness, remember we went over this already, representing the virgin daughter of Babylon, representing Esau, the Edomites. It says, verse 3 of Isaiah the 47th chapter, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. They're going to be exposed for their wickedness and their evil. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance. Here we say, I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. He coming in his angelic power. He hanging out with Michael, out of the angel of war, ready to bring, because he's already called a destroyer. He already know how to deal with this matter. He said, as for our Redeemer, the Most High Power of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. So don't get it twisted. So going back to 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 4, and whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, All they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. Because remember, he's bringing back fire to destroy this place. That's why overstand this. He said in Revelation 19 and 15, he said, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite or kill the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, which is the laws of the Most High. And he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of almighty power. That's why even in, when I gave you the definition of Edom from the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, they gave scriptures to back up the fact that they're due for future judgments of the Most High. In Isaiah 34 and 5 and 6. In Isaiah 63, the first chapter, you just read on down from there, you see that it equates with what we see in here, where his vesture going to be dipped in blood. In Revelation 19 and 13. And his clothes, and he was clothed with a vesture, his clothes dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High. We went there. And the armies, which is the angels, 200 million angels, which were in heaven, followed him upon white horses, clothed, not butt naked, but clothed in fine linen, white and clean. See? So it all coincides when you understand the precepts, as I've been saying. So 2 Ezra 13, and let's read verse 4 again. And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it filleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heavens, four corners of the earth, so to subdue the man that came out of the sea. So they all, these nations getting together to fight a Mashiach Yahushua and his army. Right? But I beheld, and lo, he had graven him a great mountain, and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region of or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not, because it wasn't a mountain. Mountain means kingdom. That's talking about the children of Israel that he's going to redeem. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him, going back to them, the army, the navy, the marines, the air force of all nations, were so afraid. He would say they're going to be so afraid, and yet does fight. Yet they're going to fight. Even though they're going to be afraid, yet does fight. That's why those that's in the military, they're going to have to make that decision. Say they're going to be afraid, but yet they're going to fight. And you know, if you hear my voice, the results, it says, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. So he didn't have no instrument of war. Listen what he says. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth again for the third time, as it had been a blast of fire. And out of his mouth, lips, remember he's not coming as a man, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight. You hear this? This? And burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of renewable multitude nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. But this ain't talking about, when he's talking about here in Revelation 19 and 21, and the remnant was slain with the sword of him that sat upon the horse, which sword proceeded out of his mouth, and all the fowls were filled with their flesh. See, ain't gonna be no flesh left with the army, the navy, the marines, and the air forces that's coming against the Mashiach Yahweh and his armies. He said ain't gonna be nothing but dust and smell of smoke. You're gonna annihilate them, point blank. He talks about it, you know. But our people got to understand. Your name not written in the book of life. That's why I used to go to Amos 5. Amos 5 and 10. Amos 9 and 10. Select it. 9 and 10. Select it. Amos 9 and 10. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. You hear that? All those that break the Most High's commandments. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. Commandments are not grievous. We just read that in 1 John 5 and 3. Say, all the sinners of my people, the 12 tribes of Israel, shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. They're going to kill you. Look at verse 8. Behold, the eyes of the Most High, power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, are upon the sinful kingdom. Most High's eyes looking at what's going on in this sinful kingdom. And I will destroy from off the face of the earth. Saving, so somebody's going to be saved. Saving, somebody's going to be delivered. Saving, that I will not utterly destroy, who? The house of Jacob, the family of the Israelites, said the Most High. Said, for lo, I will command, he will command the angels, 200 million is coming, right? And I will sift the house of Israel among all nations. He going to gather us from all four corners of the earth. He going to sift us out. Look. He sifted like, he said, let me read it. From among all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sea. Like you got corn and you shaking it, like a screen or something like that. Yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. See that? The least grain fall upon the earth. So the least is the 1/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel. The greater part is what? 2/3. That's going to be burnt up. Going to be annihilated. Y'all done gave me a new part, new word. Look, go to Zachariah 13 and 8. Just to prove that point. For the 1/3 and the 2/3. It says, Zechariah 13 and 8, it says, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. 2/3 of the 12 tribes of Israel are going to be cut off and die. But the 1/3 shall be left therein. You see? And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people. And they shall say, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is my power. You see? So he say he gonna bring us first to part through the fire, right? He coming with fire. If you do it to actual words, he gonna bring us through the fire. He gonna deliver us. Remember 1/3, the 3rd. He's gonna. Let's go back to Amos, so I don't quote it wrong. Amos 9 and 9. He said, "For lo, I will command the angels, and of my Yahushua first and foremost, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations." We scattered among all nations. Like as corn is sifted in the sea, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. So the majority is the 2/3 that's going to fall upon the earth, right? And they're going to be burnt up. Because he says next, what he say? This is what he said next. All the sinners of my people that's going to be falling on the earth shall die by the sword. Gonna die by the sword. Which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. They're gonna die. That's the 2/3. Like we see in here. He says in Zechariah 13 and 8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, said the Most High, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die. That's 2/3. But the 3rd shall be left therein. So you got 3/3 equal 1. 2/3, 2 people out of 3. You got 3 people. 2 people gonna be finished. You got 1 person that's gonna live. 3 people, 2 people gonna die. You got 1 that's gonna live. Okay. Out of 3 people, 2 people gonna die. 1 of us gonna live. And I will bring the 3rd part through the fire, because you bringing fire on this earth, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. So let's look at it spiritually. He's gonna bring us through the fire, right? The 1/3 through the fire. That's why this is not for everyone. And it's hurtful, and has been hurtful for years to know that people are not really trying to gravitate to this, to know this. It's sad, but it's real. Jeremiah 23:29. What is this fire? He's gonna bring us through the fire, right? He said, "Is not my word like as a fire?" So he's bringing the 3rd part into his word, to understand his word. Said the Most High, "Is not my word like as a fire?" He's gonna bring the 3rd part through the fire, right? So here we go now. He says, "Is not my word like as a fire?" Said the Most High, "and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces." So it's just fire is the word of the Most High. Now, he said also that in Zachariah 13:9, "and I will bring the 3rd part through the fire." So he's going to bring us into this word of understanding. "And will refine them as silver is refined. And will try them as gold is tried." Right? So let's deal with that silver is refined first. In Isaiah 48:10. That's why I said we got to go through this. Isaiah 48:10. "For mine own, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction." Remember he said, in your affliction, you're going to seek me early. So he's chosen the furnace of affliction. Oh yeah. Listen to what he say else. "For mine own sake, even for mine own sake will I do it. For how should my name be polluted?" Hear that? His name is in our name, Yah Shar Allah. "And I will not give my glory unto another." He's saying giving his glory unto another. That's why he said in Wisdom of Solomon 5:7, "As for the way of the Most High and of Mashiach Yahushua, we have not known it." Because he didn't give his glory to no one else. He only know the children of Israel. He only know you. Look, Amos 3:1 and 2. He only know us. Amos the 3rd chapter, the 1st verse. "Hear this word that the Most High hath spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt." All 12 tribes were in the captivity of the Egyptians, the Hamites, so-called Africans, saying, this is what he said, to all 12 tribes of Israel, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities." See? He said he only know us, the children of Israel. Make it mean something different. He said, "You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities," for what things that we've done. That's why we read Psalms 147:19 and 20. He said, as for the judgments of the Most High, the other nations have not known them. We have known. That's why he said he's going to punish us for us breaking his commandments, because he gave his commandments and laws and statutes and judgment to us, the children of Israel. And we want to be like the other nations. We want to follow. He told us, learn not to wear the heathen in Jeremiah 10 and 2. But we want to be like them. And what happened to us? Went to captivity after captivity for that. Look, this our people. They're going to follow the way. Remember it said, learn, trust not it. Don't trust thy enemy. This is what we do. We trust in them. We done made them our power. Look. Psalm 106 and 35. Haven't been here in a while. It says, "But were mingled among the heathen." You see? We as the nation of Israel, scattered among all these nations, were mingled among the heathen, these other nations, and learned their works. See? They ain't got to be around us to teach us their works now. Their witchcraft, sorcery, enchantments, psychics, all that stuff is all involved in their social media, the TV, the movies, the TV series and so forth. All that stuff is intermingled into the psyche of your mind, so that you can't really come to this. But you got to take the time to study, so you can do just what I'm doing and add on to it. One planter, another water, the Most High get an increase. But you got to deal with this spiritually. This isn't just about getting to the kingdom. How we gonna get to the kingdom? We're gonna do this and do that. No, we got to get there. How you gonna get there? That's what's important. How our name gonna be written in the book of life? What's more important than that? Because he said, if your name not written in the book of life, you're gonna be cast into the lake of fire. Point blank, you're gonna burn, baby, burn. Where the worms never die and the fires never quench. That's why Mashiach kept saying, gonna be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Listen, but were mingled among the heathen and learned their works. And they served their idols. That's why Psalms 96:5 says, for all the gods of the nations are idols. So we're mingled among these other nations as it is today and learn their works. That's why we are separate from what the world is dealing with. If you in this truth and you really actually applying this in your life, it's more than just dealing with banging on Esau. It's about how we gonna be saved, how we gonna be delivered, what we gotta do to reach the Most High to please him. I think if somebody got something better than that, let me know. If you know something that's better than pleasing the Most High, let me know. I ain't heard nobody come against that. Because it's a fearful thing to fall in the hands of my power, the living power, the Most High power of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Try him if you want to. Come up with something that's more important than him. His name is jealous. He said, I'm going to melt you. Try him if you want to. See, people don't fear the Most High. But when that mercy and grace is being lifted off of us, and we start seeing these things happen more and more and more and more, more death, more death, more death. Like I said, I didn't see more deaths in my life right now than ever before. That don't put no fear in your spirit. It could be you next. Or you suffering. We suffering, man. We going through affliction. At least I am. So it's either one way or the other. He loved me or I'm just being jacked up for what I did. I don't know. But I know I'm going through affliction. I know I'm going through this word. He said, hey, but we're mingled among the heathen and learned their works. We learned the works of the heathen. Unto this day. And they served their idols. A lot of people are serving idols and don't even realize it. Don't even know what an idol is. You know? There's an idol place that I go by all the time, and I rebuke Satan, rebuke all evil spirits, rebuke all evil people. But Shema Mashiach was shy. Because it vexed my spirit to see that that's represented their power that's against the Most High. And our people following it, going up in there buying them idols. That's why we're in captivity, slavery, and bondage, going through the oppression until this day. Listen, he's telling you. And they served their idols, which were a snare unto them, which is a trap unto us. Yeah, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. You hear this? This is what we did, and we can say we're doing it now. Because you allowing your children to sacrifice themselves unto devils. The devils are concentrating on, like I say, they got their, look, let me show you. Y'all think I'm just talking about sorcery and all that stuff and the things that they dealing with on high level. You better understand. That's what Moses said is Isaiah 47. Back to the matter, we already read that the virgin daughter of Babylon was the Edomites. Listen to what they doing. Moses told them this. He said in Isaiah 47:12, it says, stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be